All right, hello. In this video, I'm going to show you the top 5 email ideas for D2C brands where you can send campaigns and they will print cash without doing sales discounts or cheapening your brand. I want you to create campaign ideas that perform, they're on brand, they don't bore your subscribers, get people to click without using cheap tactics. So use this as a guide because I'm going to break down individually 5 concrete examples and theory behind why these campaign ideas work so well. But before we begin, we have to go over some assumptions about your brand. Number one, we got to assume that you have a high quality product. Okay. If you don't have a high quality product, your emails are not going to perform well. This is kind of obvious, but it's not so obvious to some people who are really good at marketing, but kind of bad at products. So we want to create very loyal fans of the brand, and we can't do this if the quality of the product is cheap. It's not safe to assume people will be loyal to your brand because of a good branding or your story. Consumer preferences constantly change, so it's hard for customers to believe what you say if they just don't believe in the product. So number one, these ideas are operating under the assumption that you have a high quality product. In this example that I'm about to show you, multiple examples actually, they're ideas, but really, if you don't have a brand identity to kind of paint that universe using these ideas, they're not going to be as effective, in my opinion. If you work with an email agency like us, RevScale, links in the description if you want to book a call. You need a selection of colors, fonts, imagery, brand assets, product photos that are really high quality. You don't need like fancy, well-designed graphics like what we're doing. You could still get by with Klaviyo's editor, but associating colors and fonts with your brands is going to help you be a lot more memorable. So at the very least, use the Klaviyo editor, use a very standard set of colors and fonts and graphics, and you're off to the races. And the last assumption is really just finding out what your why is. Most brands don't sell something incredibly unique or have proprietary technology or materials. It's the community, the messaging, the mission statement, and the why that ties your brand together to make it memorable, worthy of following, adoring, loving, and obsession. Because the lifestyle and messaging you relay to your followers is what they identify with, because they just see themselves in the brand you cultivate. And it's important for your brand to have a North Star. And yeah, I think too many people do not focus on this, like having a real brand and a messaging and something to say that's kind of overarching on the mission. If you have a real brand and you have something to say, if you have a why, it makes these emails I'm about to show you so much better. So without further ado, let's get into the top 5 ideas for D2C brands, email ideas for D2C brands.
It's just like, it's almost like a topical email where you could almost consider it like seasonal, but I think it's a bit different. I think there is like a lightning in the bottle moment, or strike it when the iron's hot. If everyone is talking about something and then you get an email from your brand that day or the next day, like bringing up that notion, like it's curiosity inducing. People are going to open that email. It's exciting, it's funny, it's like cool. People want to read that. It's the definition of infotainment, and you get people thinking about your brand unconsciously and consciously, and they see like, wow, they are a brand that's enmeshed in like the current narratives, and it's interesting, it's fun, and like people like just click and buy because they're like, this brand gets it, right? And so in this example, this is an email I wrote for Van Man, who is more of like a conservative client and calls out government conspiracies, and like it's kind of like us versus them, with he uses more holistic remedies. So at the time, Robert F. Kennedy was making waves in the media for some of his political and scientific takes, and so he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and the next day we're like, we need to do a RFK email, like this will be fun. So we placed what was happening in the current zeitgeist or the current events, and we just placed directly with RFK's political, social, scientific takes, and we just placed our product as if he was talking about it in this email. And if you can believe it, this email did really well. This is more of a plain textile client than like a designed email, but in any case, I think there is a time and a place for brands to like kind of like seize the moment, and it's cool because it's an equal parts like brand building move where you can take a stance or you can speak to the narrative. as well as something that's going to get people to buy from you, because when you embolden other people's beliefs and they agree with you and they like you, they're going to want to support you, and that's why these emails tend to do really well, and they're fun to do. The only con of it is it can be last minute. You don't want to talk about Robert F. Kennedy 5 months later when he's not in the current news cycle. You want to strike it while the iron's hot, so you want to be talking about this if you can that same day or that week, and it has like a much greater effect and imprint on your customer when you're able to pull that off. If you have a copywriter, designer, a lot of moving parts to your your email setup, sometimes it can be hard to pull off, but like we can do this like immediately, designs or not. So we were able to do this for the client, and yeah, it did really well. So yeah, basically current event emails can do well, but they have to be done like in the moment, and yeah.
All right, so topical emails or seasonal on-brand humor or topics that talk strictly benefits can sometimes be product oriented. Let's dive in. So, okay, Dissonant Soaps is all topics, and sometimes we do a direct product highlight, or yeah, it's really topical. So in this case, we're talking about return to tradition, and then what a right-wing takeover of progressive college now looks like. If you go to the About Me section for Dissident Soaps, it's all about like multinational corporations, family-owned businesses, family American values. With this specific email, I mean, there's barely even any mention of the product, and sometimes you don't need to mention the product. You can just talk about the brand and what they stand for, and that can be resonant enough to get sales. This is an example of a topical email about what the brand can do for them and allow them to do, and it's about unleashing your toddler's adventure, right? And like, this is about like keeping your baby happy and having as much fun as possible, and the pants allow them to do that. So you're taking a concept or benefit of the brand where what happens when you find comfortable diapers? You have a happy baby. When you have a happy baby, you go on adventures, right? So like, it's just kind of like this thing that makes the brand, right, is when you talk about how it can insert into your daily lifestyle. And that's kind of what I mean by topical. A brand topic for Dissident Soaps is a right-wing infiltration to the university. A brand concept for Kim and Kimmy is your baby gets to go on adventures now, right? And it's really masqueraded as a product highlight email with social proof as well. What else do we have here? Press surf. If you know après ski, you should know ski is a big thing about getting hammered after skiing and snowboarding in the snow. It's been around since the 60s in the culture. So après surf is like, what do you do après surf or after surf? And I did like an old school throwback, because that's the term comes from like an old school saying and way of life and culture of the snowboard industry. Put that into surfing, post surf vibes. What do you do to après surf? We live for the beaches as much as we live to party. Whatever way you choose to buy yourself, we're here for it. See how we're inserting ourselves into someone's lifestyle? The brand perfectly fits into someone's lifestyle. That's ideally what you want to do with the brands that we have. Look, I literally say it outright. It's for the culture. Our Longest Humanity is a perfect fit for transitioning from the beach to the bar and anywhere else the night leads you. Our brand is the perfect brand for your lifestyle, whatever that may be. So once you understand the concept of the brand, what it stands for, fun, being fat, having a good time, ocean, you combine these concepts and say, have a good time after surf,
throw on a shirt, do whatever you want, right? So that's kind of what I mean by topical. It's really, I mean, you can go as deep as you want with this shit. It's pretty simple. Brands stand for a couple different things. You take those concepts and then you create a product highlight, or just talk about, the brand. The best converting emails are always going to be product and ingredient highlights, and saying directly what benefits they're going to get from using said ingredients and products. But you can have fun with the brand and come up with these concepts, and like that's really kind of how you create topical emails. All right, so personal letters. Let's go like that. Let's go like that. So, yeah, I mean, personal letters are my term for saying anything that comes from the owner themselves. These have their place, and they're usually plain text. So it can be coming from the point of view of the brand owner, which makes it more intimate and can make for a really good email if it's a sale, or it's just talking about like honest to good, straight from the source about like the product's benefits. In this case, it's just a straight up like mini little sales blurb on really conversational tone sounding sales and converting copy, right? It's pretty straightforward. In this case, this is just like a simple enjoy 20% off. I think Obvi does this quite a bit too. Obvi tabs. I think it's probably not going to be here. Anyway, I mean, you could argue that a lot of these emails from Fling are almost, letters from the founder, right? Let's see. Like this one. Yeah, so I would say keep it light, keep it short, keep it very direct but conversational, and yeah, well, not like intimate or sweet, but just like it's very just like honest and confident, and that's kind of like the tone. And yeah, you're just like stoked to talk about your product from the brand owner. So these have their place for sales, and they also can be great. You're usually structured as plain text. Don't be afraid to throw in a plain text every now and then. It's super quick and easy for them to do as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It really doesn't need that much explanation, honestly. I think you get the picture. Okay, so this is the product highlight email. So basically, there's a couple different ways you could probably do this, where you highlight the product characteristics and how it fits into someone's life. You could highlight the ingredients, and you could just do an infographic of all the ingredients, or you could highlight one ingredient as well. So here is a Masa email, and it's an intro, a symphony of flavors, right? It's like the perfect mix of flavors. And then boom, boom, boom. Just a very simple ingredient breakdown with some headers and images. Right here, this is an ingredient highlight email with just one ingredient being highlighted. There's an intro to the product itself, and then ingredients, deep dive on ingredients, and then generic subscribe and save box. This is an infographic email. You can structure this so many different ways, but intro, just straight up an infographic, super straightforward. Same thing with this one, infographic with a lot more details. Joint full highlight. It's like two the same. Whatever. Yeah, same thing, right? With some social proof blocks. So, yeah. One way to think about this is highlighting. These are all just like ingredient highlights, honestly. I should probably add one more that's like just like a product benefit. Maybe that has to do with more topical, that goes into more like topical area. So maybe I should go into that. Product highlight. Topical. Yeah, it's more of a topical thing. So this is just really highlighting ingredients or the details of the product. So you could do that with diapers, right? It doesn't have to be exclusively an infographic, right? It can be like a material breakdown as well. Like this one. It's a product launch email, which is its own thing, but... Oh, yes, this is actually not. This is just a highlight, right? It's a product highlight. You're just highlighting the product, man. Adding some images, a bundle. And it's literally taking the description, expanding upon it, letting them know about it. This is another good product highlight email. I'm going to add both of these. Durable diapers, unmatched durability and performance. It can be... You either go and talk about the material and what it does, or you talk about, that's a feature, and then you talk about the benefits of each feature, or you talk about the benefit. The benefit here is durability and performance, right? So you're either talking about the feature or the benefit, either one. So, all right, so I'm going to show you some examples of some email types. This one's going to be a social proof email. So I did 3 examples here. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So the first example is actually a social proof email that we typically do for the flows. And you can use this type of email for, any type of social email. You could use always this same style. Everybody loves X brand. Image, short intro, and then, why we're the best, core benefits, and then social proof, right? That's one type of email, and it's like 3 sections, right? Forget this discount code, but like intro, core benefits, social proof. Highlighting 3 social proof. You have the option too of highlighting individual products, so it could be like product plus caption. It could literally be product, image, resin, use caption, and then it's just talking about that, and then do the same thing again, right? And maybe even separating this block out, so it's like product image, this caption, then just one social proof block, do it again. Certainly don't have to do that. It could be just generic reviews. But yeah, another way to do it is like this. It's super simple. I just want to hammer into the designers that I like each review into its own individual blocks. So I have all the campaigns up here, so you could see right here, it's literally its own individual blocks, like its own different color background at least. I think I might have said something similar here, right? These are a great example of an email style that we can repeat for every single customer. And then this is different. It's another take on social proof, right? I mean, social proof can be PR, social proof reviews. Let's do, it could be PR, it could be UGC, TikTok plus YouTube video reviews. Examples. Highlighting anything to do with outside content you can find or the client provides us, right? Instagram, it can be literally linking to any post, and you can just find the links on TikTok, Instagram. It takes 1 second to search them. Oftentimes, even the client will have their own Instagram feed or TikTok feed on the website. But the easiest thing to do for social, these are the easiest emails to do, social proof email, intro, social review blocks, product block. Those are your 3 sections. If I can't think of an email when I'm creating campaigns, every single client, every month or every other month, you could throw one social proof email in there. And then there's variations of social proof. You can always do new reviews. You can find PR. There's different types of UGC. So this is like a really good, easy, evergreen, Another thing you can do is build an email around one review, right? I mean, this is already so much content, right? And obviously, I'm talking about Fling, right? Boom. Fling is like, boom, this section, be part of the movement. That's kind of, all right, sorry. Core benefits, right? You could literally just talk about the mechanism in here, right? And that is a fantastic email to do. So anyway, I think that really covers the social proof. I'm going to add this as an example. And yeah, you should be good.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, those are solid ideas. You can reuse them, abuse them. If you have a supplement, you have 10 different ingredients. That's 10 different ingredient highlight emails in and of itself. However many emails a month you're doing, you can kind of start to map out your calendar with this kind of guide. These are all proven to work. They work very, very well. These are the same emails I do for my agency. I have over 40 clients. I've been doing this for years, and I've been able to create consistent performance because of these email styles that I use. They just work. So keep extra room on the calendar for current event emails or last minute ideas. Let me know if you need help planning your campaign strategy. Book a call in the link below or check out our website, RevScale. That's it. Short and sweet. Peace.